The Central Club.
Count me in then, bro. This is happening, bro. This is happening. Eventually.
I know,
How
it's
long
been
have we
ages,
spoken,
isn't it?
man? No, it's good. I'm glad.
No, I'm
glad.
buzzing to see you doing so well, mate.
Well, we'll talk about it now.
Yeah.
Let me know.
And it's Mace.
We roll in.
Oh, mate, I used to watch him on YouTube.
What's going on, people? Welcome to the Central Club. This episode is brought to you by Re-Inspire Printing and Ape Stride. Don't get caught slipping. If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the club, and hit the bell button to be notified of future content. We've been at the Vale Hotel all day interviewing guests, and we are going to finish in fashion, the one I've been waiting for. This one is close to my heart because I grew up with this kid, and to see what he's doing in his life is just, it's heartwarming. This guy has started from the bottom, literally, and is at the highest of heights now when it comes to his profession. He is Luton Town's captain. It's Mr. Tom Lockyer.
Quite the introduction, mate. Oh, you smashed that, didn't you?
Oh, one take.
Yeah.
That was one take, I promise. What's happening?
No, it's good to finally to get on, mate. We've obviously been talking for a while now. So it's good to finally get here, isn't it?
It's surreal, mate.
Yeah, I mean...
We just said earlier, when was the last time we actually seen each other?
Must have been, what would I have been? 7 or 8, is it? Something like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, we were just saying then off camera as well that I obviously watched you on YouTube, spitting bars and that. So,
yeah, that was another era. That was a long time ago, man.
I always thought you had a good flow though, and that's me being serious as well. But no, obviously, people who don't know, we grew up on the same estate, didn't we?
Yeah, and what an like I've told my story many times to like different people, different platforms, and I've always said I had a great childhood. My fondest memories, obviously, there wasn't any good ones, in my young adult life, but those memories like are cherished forever, and they were shared with you as well, man.
Yeah, I mean, it was always like two groups on the estate, weren't there? We were like the further down, and then you were like the bit further back. So whenever we were playing like football or like cops and robbers or whatever it was always like us against you, wasn't it?
Yeah,
so,
Nicky boys.
Yeah, so some of my earliest memories are on that estate, playing Kirby and football in that massive field behind the flat. So yeah,
man. Like, and you know what? It's mad, like, because I think it was my brother. And he said, Tom Lockyer plays and all that. He's like he's doing well and all that. Because obviously my head was just in another world during those times when I was addicted and stuff. But like, that's all I remember you was, it was football. Like, you was football mad. We all were, really. And I was so happy that I knew that I found that out. Like, it was like, wow. Because I don't think he was the most talented either at the time. Like, but I suppose when we're younger, we don't really notice that anyway. Like, but you always had a ball with you. You was always playing football, and the passion was clearly there at a young age.
Yeah, I think in a weird way, what helped me was I was always like the youngest of the group. I know Bradley was younger than me, but he was always big boy for his age. But yeah. I was always the youngest, always the smallest, and I was always knocking about with all you boys who were a lot older, a lot rougher. So, it was like, there was countless times where I used to go home crying to my mum and that and say, oh, they're picking on me again. And she'd say like, either like, just get back out there and fight for yourself, or, do you know what I mean? Like, should you even be like going out there then if you're just going to keep come back crying? But, that almost instilled that like, it's going to be a fight. It's going to be a battle. Got roughed up numerous times in football and go home crying, so-and-so cheated, or do you know what I mean? It was always something happening on there. But being the youngest and having to just fight and grind to get any sort of like, there was no fouls on the field, was there? Do you know what I mean? Everyone was kicking each other, going out. Yeah, it was a wild time, wasn't it? But I think that kind of helped, just instilled from early that you're gonna have to fight for everything.
Yeah, definitely. And was it like, was football always at the forefront, growing up, developing in your mind while going to school and stuff? Was it always a passion of yours that you thought, I want to play football? Like,
no, I think when I was younger and Probably the same for a lot of people. Like, you just do it because you love it. And that's all we really knew. Like, I just loved football. And so I always had a ball at my feet. I was always trying new skills. I had the David Beckham Mohican, and do you know what I mean? I've got the skill school videos up on YouTube trying to do around the worlds and stuff. Everything revolved around football. And I think I was quite lucky that in the era is kind of like the PS1 was just coming through. So there wasn't that, iPad distraction that all the kids have gone now. It was literally like go out and come home when it's dark. Don't go past this lamppost, sort of thing. And then as I got a bit older, obviously it was a bit more relaxed, but it was always at that ball at my feet. I was always athletic. Loved like any sort of sport, still do now, but like running, cross country, school, athletics. I was in for everything. So I was always athletic and sporty, but it's one of them things that you don't, there's not a point where you go, I want to be a footballer. I kind of just fell into it. I just kept progressing, kept going through the ranks, and eventually, mad long story, ended up in the Premier League. So it's quite the journey, but wouldn't change it for the world.
No, and you're at an age now, 28, where you're not young anymore. Well, you are still. You still got years in the tank. Definitely, you are very fit. But it's like, wow, this is. Do you feel like this is the right time to be where you are?
Yes, it is one of them things, isn't it? Like, I would love to have got there a lot earlier, but would I have been ready for it? I don't know. Having to come up the hard way and learn the ropes, there's some places I've been to, no disrespect to them teams, where like the pitch has been horrendous and it's an absolute battle, but like they're the character builders. If you can go there and do that, then it's gonna leave you in good stead. And like Aki away, the showers is 2 showers the work, and they go from freezing to boiling, and you've got to catch them in like that 2-second window in the middle where they're like transitioning. So things like that, my journey from non-league all the way through, I wouldn't change it. Like I said, when is the right time? You never know till you get there. I'm loving my football at the minute. I'm feeling really good. So no time like the present.
I think that's the character that Luton Town brings to the Premier League, actually, is, if you look at, you're talking about Aki away, but if you're Man City, Liverpool, and you talk about Luton away, like the stadium you're in at the moment and stuff, it's beautiful to see that you've travelled. I know you haven't always been with Luton, but I think that character that your team brings right now is what football's all about.
Yeah, there's a lot of boys there who've been on similar journeys to me, and Luton has followed a similar journey to me, non-league to Premier League. And when we met each other along the way, I think it was just meant to be that we were going to end up in the Premier League together. But when I first joined Luton, it wasn't like, oh, we're going to be in the Premier League. When I first joined Luton, it was like, right, let's solidify Championship football. So when I was signing for Luton, if you'd have said to me, you're going to be Premier League in 3 years' time, I'd have bit your hand off. It's not. At the time, we just stayed up, so it wasn't a club that was going, join me and you'll get promoted. It was come here, be part of the journey, building. First, we're going to solidify Championship football, then we're going to look for the playoffs and try and get promoted. And it's exactly what was promised to me. So, with the promotion on the end, because that wasn't promised, but that's always a nice added bonus.
Yeah, and we will talk about the promotion and the playoff finals and stuff a bit more down the line. But I think we should go back a bit, because there's so much there that got you to this point. And is it correct that you hold a record that not many do, actually, where you're not even a striker, you're a centre back, but you've scored in like every division? Yeah,
so non-league, tick that one off. Grimsby away, I think. Scored in League 2. I couldn't tell you who the League 2 goal was for. Bury away. League 1 scored a couple. Championship scored a few, and then Everton away scored in the Premier League. So yeah, I know there was 5 or 6 who've done it. But I think a lot of them were strikers or midfielders. So I'm not sure how many defenders have done it. But yeah, I got sent the stat the other day, and it was really nice just to look at and just just take a second and go, wow, yeah, it's some journey you've had.
Yeah, it is unbelievable. I got to be fair. Like, and when you talk about, probably not doing it going to the Premier League in the sort of fashion others do, where they might be, in a youth academy with Chelsea or something like that, or, they get bought straight into a Premier League club. You've gone all the way. But when you listen to stuff like that and stats like that it's got to be worth it.
Yeah, of course it's worth it. Like I said, my journey's similar to Luton's. We show that underdog spirit, that fight, that determination. Because like you said earlier, I ain't the most talented footballer. But you'll find someone, do well to find someone who will outwork me. Do you know what I mean? If I want something, I'm going to go and get it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I think it's quite sad really, because there is quite a lot of footballers who have got that talent who don't quite have that desire to push themselves to the next level, to go on and forge a career. So but like I said, it was instilled from me from young. So
you're gonna thank?
I got to thank you. I was literally about to say that. Kicks. So here you go, Coles. It's all down to you, mate.
Oh, thanks, mate. I really appreciate that. No, it is what you said. Like, innit? It's like it's that underdog spirit you've had is gone with you everywhere you've gone. And you're right, there is people out there who's got that like talent that only takes you so far. And I'm sure there's players out there who have made it, who have got the talent, but they're just lazy, and they don't reach their full potential, which is really sad, really. And when I look back at people like who probably didn't have the best talent, all right, yeah, you see yourself. Like, I'm a Liverpool fan. John Flanagan, someone like that to me was someone who he wasn't the greatest player, but he was fucking committed. Like, do you know what I mean? And I'd look at him and think that is a perfect example of someone who you haven't got to have, it doesn't have to be what it says on the tin to be able to make it or taste like that. Do you know what I mean? I'm not saying fake it till you make it, but work rate is everything, I think.
I think when you see people like that who give everything for the badge and for the club and leave everything out on the pitch, the fans can relate to it. So say they are going through a tough patch, then they get a little bit more leeway with the fans, you know what I mean? Because they are just leaving everything out game after game. And you're a manager's dream in a way as well, because the manager knows who you're going to get. Do you know what I mean? There's no point being a 10 out of 10 one week and then being a 3 out of 10 for the next 4 or 5. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So especially lower down when you have got to grind. So for me, that side of the game always came a bit more natural because I wasn't the most technical player. Obviously, growing up in the streets with you boys, I thought I was. But when you start joining academies and,
Can you do round the world now?
Yeah, can do several now. I don't need him much as centre-back, do I? But I can actually do it, yeah.
Yeah, because you were quite small as well, weren't you? Like, from what I remember, you wasn't tall or nothing. Obviously, you was a kid. But how tall are you now? 6
foot on the dot. Yeah, it's
not too big, but not too small.
No, exactly. I wish I had your height.
They'd be calling you Virgil. No.
Virgil van Dijk.
Yeah. No, listen, right? I think what we need to do is, you are a Cardiff boy. This is a Cardiff-based podcast. So one thing we did have a little mention about is where you started off, and because obviously if you went on Wikipedia, it would probably say Bristol Rovers. But where did you start off? How did you get your into football and take you where you are now?
So just playing on the estate, and one of the lads' dads was running a team down in Grangetown. So he obviously seen us playing on the street and Sam's dad, yeah, said, do you want to come down and play? So I said, yeah, like sweet. So ended up playing a few games for Grangetown, and then I think it was 6 or 7 at the time, and it was like under 9s. But I just loved it. Do you know what I mean? I just loved that team environment, and I couldn't wait to go. And we ended
black and white kit.
Yeah, the black and white kit. Yeah. And it's funny because after that, I moved to Rather, and then signed.
You went up in the world.
Yeah, signed for Rather Rangers, and they had a black and white kit as well. So so joined them. And then after a while, after a while for them, got spotted by Cardiff City Academy. So went down there, had a trial with them. Well, it was the development squad for a while.
Like development academy, yeah.
And then after a while, I ended up in the main academy and was there till I was 15 until they started offering scholarships out. So didn't get one of them, unfortunately.
Why do you think that was? Was there any reason in that?
Yeah, so at the time, like you just said earlier, I wasn't big. I didn't grow till I was about 16, 17. And I was playing right back all the way through. And then someone got injured. I ended up playing centre half for the last 6 months before the decision. So I ended up doing really well there at centre back, but I was tiny. And then they just said to me, you're not big enough, you're not strong enough. We love you as a footballer, as a lad, work ethic, all that. But to play centre half, you're just not big enough or strong enough.
I think it's very naive, though, at the age of 15. Like, how many people do you hear they get dropped off because they're not tall enough? You're still young, man. You've got a lot of growing to do. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and in a way, it was the best thing that ever happened to me, because if looking back now, it was a great age group we had. I remember one of the coaches who done Gunter and Ramsey done their age groups, and he said your age group is by far the best we've had in years. And it was. We would win everything. They won a team we wouldn't turn over. And there was loads of talented lads, a lot more talent than me, a lot bigger as well, obviously, while they're after. But a lot of them went on to just fizzle out, and me getting released and having to go to Bristol Rovers and do my scholarship there and end up playing men's football was the best thing that ever happened to me. And after 3 years then, when all them lads who stayed on were in the under-21s, they were all ringing me and messaging me saying, do you think you'd be able to sort a loan out for me to Bristol Rovers? I need to go out and get some game time. So while I was out grinding and doing it the hard way, they were in, obviously, the nice Cardiff City under-21s, but all that happened was they stayed there, got a little bit stale, and all the manager was saying to them was, you need to go out and get some game time. So it's weird how football works and what different managers want and that. But I've always said the getting released from Cardiff is by far the best thing and probably the making of me.
Was you a Cardiff fan at all?
Yeah, I had season ticket for 5-6 years. 3 years at Ninian Park, 2-3 years
the best times
at Cardiff City Stadium. So went to Wembley. Obviously when I started coming away with Wales, seeing Joe Ledley and Adam Matthews, people like that, people who I watched growing up. It was all a bit surreal, wasn't it? So massive Cardiff fan. And it's weird. They say like you should never play for the team you support because you obviously end up despising them, and that's what happened. It was as simple as that. Broke my heart.
That's really sad.
Yeah. Cardiff was my team. It was Cardiff and Wales. There was nothing else. And
you wasn't even one with an ulterior team either, was it? It was.
I mean, like I did. I'm not gonna lie. I had like Chelsea shirts, Liverpool shirts, Man U shirts, but
just a football fan.
Just a football fan. I loved Rooney, I loved Gerrard, so I'd have their shirt, do you know what I mean? But it wasn't like one team I adored more than the others. Maybe Chelsea actually, but it was Cardiff and Wales. And
what do you think Cardiff's missing then, like in that development kind of age? Because you're not the first player who, is actually capping Wales and doing really well in his career, who comes from Cardiff, who says this about Cardiff or has a bad experience with Cardiff.
I'm not sure, to be honest. Obviously, we're going miles back now since the time I got released, but they have brought a lot more players through recently. So the pathway might be a little bit clearer, a little bit more open, available to the academy players if you do well. I'm thinking like Ruben Colwell has come through, done really well.
Shout out to Ruben.
People like that have done really well. So I think that pathway is a little bit more there. I'm not sure exactly what they've changed, but like I said, when I was there, the pathway just wasn't there. It was only Declan John who went on to represent Cardiff properly, I would say. Tommy O'Sullivan was another incredible talent. back when we was playing, I'd never seen anyone with technique like him. And he ended up going on loan to Newport and, not forcing his way through into Cardiff, which is where my money would have been on. For someone to go and break through would have probably been him. But like I said, there was loads of great talent. And there was only Deck John who really went on to do something. But
did these lads speak to you now then and kind of like praise you for what you've done?
No, like this is a long time ago now. I don't keep in contact with too many of them on a regular basis. There's a lot of them playing in the Football League now though still. So obviously when we play against each other, it's nice to, bump into them and say hello and see they're doing well. But because when I left, I was just wipe my hands with Cardiff. I didn't want anything to do with it.
So is it to a stage now, like if Cardiff ever like went to the Premier League or whatever, or, towards your end of your career, would you ever go there? Would you ever play for Cardiff?
Yeah, I'd love to. At the end of the day, it is my team. I know, like I said, yeah, it hurt me. And it does still hurt, getting released. It's shattering your dreams, innit, as a kid. And, I know I was 15 at the time, but you are still a kid. And it hurts, having that season ticket, being, wanting to be that one who goes on and represents Cardiff.
Yeah,
and getting it taken away from you.
It is frustrating, mate, because I think you look great with the fucking captain band wrapped around your arm at the City top, mate. Do you know what I mean?
But the annoying thing was, it was something out of my control as well. Like they said, you're not big enough and you're not strong enough. So
it wasn't something you could fix there and then.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So the way I seen it, I just went, all right then, cool. That's your opinion. I'll prove you wrong. And so I just went gym, started smashing gym. Then the growth thing, it just kind of just happened in the next couple of years. And it was Neil Ardley at the time who was the academy manager. And, I always didn't despise him for it because he's a great bloke and there's tough decisions to be made. But when he moved to Wimbledon and Bristol Rovers would play Wimbledon, I don't know, there was always that little bit more fire in my belly.
Yeah.
And I remember after one game, I think we beat him 3-0 and I was like eyeballing him like all the way, seeing when he was going to go down the tunnel. So I just timed it to go in the tunnel at the same time with him, just to be like, like I'm here, like, do you know what I mean? Yeah, this is me now. Do you know what I mean? I'm not that small kid anymore. And
I'm sure he's seen you, mate.
Yeah, no, he did, and he put his arm around me and he said, "Locks, brilliant to see you doing so well. I made a mistake on you." And that was really nice. That he just held his hands up and said,
fair
like,
play to
yeah, and it made me respect him a lot. That.
So Bristol Rovers, like you done a lot of your growing there, didn't you? What were they like as a club?
When I first went, not the best, to be honest. Wasn't run very well. Training ground was just a bit of a shambles. Playing squad was a bit of a shambles as well. People coming and going, people not.
A few boys from Cardiff been up there, though, haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
Adam Holloway and I was he up there? Rovers or City?
No, he was City, he was.
City.
But yeah, little things just like standards and stuff like that.
Okay.
Things in the first team that, like me now, I wouldn't accept. But obviously, being a young lad, you haven't really got a voice. Do you know what I mean? You just like, he says jump, and you just say how high if you're not jumping already. Do you know what I mean?
So even back then, you knew it was unacceptable, but just didn't have the voice, or was it the first time round? And
no, yeah. So obviously done the youth team there, brilliant youth team. We won a lot. Went through into the first team. Started playing in the first team almost straight away. Ended up getting relegated that season, but didn't, because it was the first time in a first team environment. Just almost buzzing to be there. Didn't really know what's what. Just thought that was the norm because it's my first time there. I didn't know anything else, but there was the standards from some of the pros back then was it was like embarrassing, yeah. And to get Bristol Rovers relegated from League Two, is embarrassing. It's a massive club. It's
got a lot of history.
A lot of history, yeah. Brilliant club now. And to be fair, that's getting relegated actually is probably the best thing that happened to that club. And it enabled to get rid of a lot of the deadwood. But yeah, like I said, I was young, naive, just thought the norm. And like looking back now, there's things that the professionals were doing and things that went on that I wouldn't accept now.
And was you just happy to be there though at the time? Like, or, getting relegated from League Two as you've just gone to play first team football must have knocked your confidence a little bit.
Yeah, I was happy to be there, It was one of them because, like I said, even in Bristol Rovers youth team, I wasn't the best player. I ended up being captain and, I was a bit of a leader and all that. But so then to progress onto the first team and, I only got my opportunity there because one of the boys got injured when they needed a centre-back. One of the boys, the geezer who's Pat Keary, who was playing ahead of me at the time. Well, we were playing together, but he was a bit more ahead of me in football-wise, and they needed a centre-back, and he was injured at the time. So they sent me and done really well and just went from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, is obviously then getting relegated. I remember meeting my agent in the summer and he said, look, we can take you to Swansea into the under-23s. Or you can stay here and keep playing men's football. Like, I'll give you my opinion, but the decision's up to you at the end of the day. And I said, no, we need to put this right. I said, not interested in that. I had a word with Darryl Clark, the manager at the time. And he said, because the season before I played a little bit here, there and everywhere. And he just said to me, he said, Locks, I don't know where you're going to fit in my team, but every team needs a Tom Lockyer. And that was enough for me. I was like, right, let's right the wrongs of last season. Let's go and get this club promoted.
Unbelievable, mate. Yeah, so Charlton Athletic was your other club that you went to. Was that a step in the right direction for you? Or was you still just kind of just going with the flow?
No, it was. When I was at Bristol, I had a few inquiries. I don't think there was any concrete bids ever came in. They always got snubbed quite early, but I always want to test myself at the highest level. And Bristol Rovers, we had great 2 years, got up to League One. We almost went again on the third year, and we ended up selling Matty Taylor in January to them across the road, which, it stumped us. I really thought we would have gone again there into the Championship. And then after that, we never really looked like going up. So to get to the next level then, I was going to have to leave and, take a challenge at the next level.
Was it tough to leave at that time?
Yeah, it was. Bristol Rovers is my club. I was there for 8 years. I love the club. It's brilliant. That's my home now. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, Cardiff fans. But that's, do you know what I mean? That's home for me now, Bristol Rovers. Just the way they took me in when they did, when I needed a home. Do you know what I mean? And so and everything. The back-to-back promotions. I've been there with the relegation. It hurt me more than anyone. Do you know what I mean? So then to have to leave, and it was for me because I loved that club, and if I had any thought that the club was going to get promoted in the next 2 years, I would have stayed. But I just didn't. And I didn't see them getting promoted. So I had to leave, take the challenge at Charlton. Obviously, hindsight, I was right. So I was right to go and test myself at the next level.
What league were Charlton in at the time?
Just got promoted to the Championship. So when I was leaving Bristol Rovers, I had a few clubs coming in and people saying, come in and fight it out for your place. And I went and met Lee Bowyer and Steve Gallen down at Charlton, and they said, look, come to us, you're going to play. You are going to be the main man. And that was me again. You've got me.
I've spoken to Bellamy and Dyer about Bowyer because the three of them are quite close. What was he like?
I really like Bose. I got on well with him. Didn't really want to cross him when he's angry, like a few boys have found out, yeah. But no, one of the fairest managers that could be. I had a lot of time for him. Got on really well with him, and it's a shame what happened with him at Charlton, to be honest. Because I really like
Birmingham after that, didn't he?
Yeah. So gutted we couldn't.
Did you ever see that side to him then? Any
What?
funny stories with Boya?
No, I can't remember. No, I do remember him tearing a strip off Johnny Williams once though, and that was tough to watch. Obviously, Johnny being my boy, so he's when he gets going, Bose, he's an angry man, and I think Johnny deserved that one. So you have to just shut up and take it.
Was that due to his playing ability or?
No. Johnny technical. I think he pulled out of a tackle, and that's a big no for Bose in it. So I think Johnny deserved that one.
How long was you at Charlton for?
It's only a season. Went there. Loved my time there. Really did. Enjoyed it a lot.
Did you stay in Bristol still when you went to Charlton?
No. Fully committed. Went down there.
Really?
Yeah. Bought right into it. And we were doing really well. Started really well. And then Lyle Taylor got injured on international duty. We kind of lost our way a little bit, and then COVID hit. We had a bodge takeover. There was so much stuff going on behind the scenes. Who owns the club? Who doesn't own the club? Who's going to prison? Who bought this Range Rover? It was a it was a
shit show.
Yeah, it wasn't a good time. And I remember we had a meeting at the time, and Geezer came in and said, like, this is the crack, blah blah blah. And I remember Jason Pierce just went, nah, I ain't having it. He said, I've been at 2 clubs where clubs have gone into administration from this exact thing, and I think this is going the same way. And all the lads were like, wow, like this is serious now. We did end up getting paid, but it was like concerns over if we were going to get paid, like everything like that. And we ended up getting relegated on the last day, and it was one of them, like
Scarpered.
Yeah, I don't know. Obviously, I want to just say it's easy just to go like, oh, just concentrate on the football and all that, but you want to, but it's, with all that going on, it's hard to. So I ended up leaving there from there when they got relegated.
Just quickly, just because before we go into it, obviously with Bristol and Charlton, you've been part of a relegation team. How does that feel like as a player?
The second time was easier, just purely because I'd experienced it before. I remember the first one, Bristol Rovers. I went home and I didn't want to speak to anyone. I was embarrassed to look at people. I locked myself away for like a week and just was not in a good place, because I know they say like leave your work at the door when you come in and all stuff like that, but when you're living and breathing it and you want it so bad, you can't. So, it was tough. And then the Charlton one, it was the last game of the season that it went down to, and it was actually Luton who stayed up to knock Charlton down. So
they obviously had their eyes on you, didn't they?
You could say it was meant to be in the end, but
I suppose with the Charlton one as well, like you said, everything that's going on behind the scenes, it probably had a lot more answers to it.
Yeah,
more explanation around it. It's not just you, the players, like.
Yeah, and it wasn't like writing on the wall, because it did go down to the last day, like the Bristol Rovers one did. But I don't think over a 46 game season or whatever it is, the league table don't lie at the end of the day. So,
exactly.
There's
plenty of opportunities to right your wrongs.
Yeah, it's weird, because I look at the Charlton squad and I go, there was more than enough for us to thrive in that league. Whereas I look at the Bristol Rovers squad and the way people were acting at Bristol Rovers at the time, and I was like,
give me an example of what you mean by that.
Boys just like rocking up, like straight out their car onto the training pitch and no one's saying anything. Like, do you know what I mean? Or going out like on the Thursday before a game on a Saturday, like.
And what that now? If you've seen that in a clip, what you're grilling them or?
Oh, 100%, yeah. That ain't going down. That ain't happening. That no way. But I'm lucky at Luton that everyone's on board. Do you know what I mean? Everyone knows that ain't acceptable. You ain't gonna get away with that.
You're on job there then.
Yeah, I don't have to be. The lads know, like, it's a culture that was there before I came. It's almost like, can you swear on this?
Good, Tom.
Yeah.
This is anything goes.
Yeah,
Mate.
it's like Marcus Stewart used to say a lot. No dickheads, just no dickheads. No dickheads in the team. Don't be a dickhead. It's as simple as that. And if I think you going out on a Thursday night is going to affect us on a Saturday, I'm going to call you out on it because I ain't having it. Do you know what I mean? I was there in League Two, Bristol Rovers, and half the first team were going out. It wasn't just like one or two. It was like half of them were going out on a Thursday night, getting steaming, rocking up bag of shit on a Friday and stinking of booze and all that. And I'm just like, I'm just there, just a young lad. Do you know what I mean? I ain't going to say nothing to a senior pro when I'm 18. Do you know what I mean? But whereas that's happening now, I'm saying, what are you doing?
It's ironic though, isn't it? Because, you know, it's like these people, like, I'm not saying they're out trying to act a biggie, but, you know, you're getting relegated, but you're out on the town like you're a fucking top footballer and stuff. It's just like, I know they probably hate me, Cardiff Blues. No, but I used to see them in town and that, man, like, and they were getting battered every week, but they walk around like they're the bee's knees. And it's just like, fucking be more professional. They probably hate me, see. No, but yeah, no, fair play to you, mate. Like, that's a great attitude to have.
I mean, I'm not just me. Everyone in the Luton dressing room got it. It's a culture.
Drink?
Do I drink? I'll have one now and again. I've never been a big drinker. Obviously, what happened at Wembley, you know, I'm probably going to touch on that, and they said, you know, they didn't say don't drink, but they said, like, you know, just be careful. So that was enough for me just to say.
Yeah, and obviously back, you know, we're in a different culture now, aren't we? Like, you know, you look at the Paul Merson, Letizia days, and, you know, like, that was part of the culture, drinking, isn't it? Like, you know, and it obviously still happens. You know, we were talking to Ollie earlier on about the Connor Wickham. We posted about it. They got beat by Swansea, you know, and he's reporting him out on balloons the night before or the night after and shit. Like, what you know, if you found out one of your teammates was taking balloons on a night out in a car, taking snaps, what would you say to him?
I don't think he fully understood the situation of the South Wales derby. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I used to go to them, and, you know, they were tasty from the stands. So
yeah, and when you look at, I think the contrast of that was you had Lee Trundle, people like that actually in the away end with Swansea, passionate, and then we've got our fucking players taking balloons like it's fucking nothing. Like, do you know what I mean? And I don't mean to go on a Connor Wickham, like, he probably is a good lad and a good professional, but definitely a mistake made there. And you can't get away with it these days with social media, you know?
no, it's one of the old pros used to say to me, like, half of the stuff they used to do back in the day, just because there was no smartphones, you know, they could get away with a lot more. And that's probably why it happened a lot more. You know, if you were out on the boozer now, you know, Tuesday afternoon or Thursday evening, you know, you're going to get spotted. Someone's going to see you and, you know, post a snap saying, you know, is this professional, whether that...
Sorry, go on, man.
I was going to say, or even like, you know, rival team fans, you know what I mean? Saying, like,
well, that's it,
on the wind up. So, you know,
and I'm sure clubs have, like, the comms, the social media, you know, people who, like, look out for their players on social media and shit, and, you know, keep an eye on them, like, you know, just to see what they're up to.
Yeah, and I mean, you know, the introduction of player liaison officers has been massive now. So it's just someone who just there for the players and
a listener. Yeah,
just like, oh, I know, I've got this letter through, or say a foreign lad's joined, and he's like, I can't understand this letter. You know, we had one join the summer. He couldn't speak basic English, but, like, after that, he needs a lot of help with, you know, this letter's come through, like, what does this say and all this. So that's helped a lot. But like I said, the culture shift, you mentioned the older boys down the pub and all that. Times have changed. The high-speed running and the sprint speed and the data that gets collected. You see them GPS vests now. You're trying to do that on a belly full of booze, you ain't getting away with it. You'll be pulling up with injuries left, right, and centre. So don't get me wrong. I'm not saying don't ever drink, because there's a time and a place. If you played on a Saturday and you haven't got a game now till next Saturday, and you want to go down the pub or go on a night out on this, be my guest. But if we've played on the Saturday and we need to recover and go again on the Tuesday,
fucking stewed the night on a Thursday and all that for the game.
Yeah. So, and like you said, social media now, you can't really get away with it, can you?
Do you think you wear that captain band because of the discipline you have? Well, it's got to be. I mean, that's a bit of a stupid question, really.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. No, I've been fortunate to captain Bristol Rovers and Luton, and it's a massive honour. Because it says...
Have you captained Wales?
No.
You're still not getting enough airtime yet, are you?
No. Yeah, no.
But I bet you use that. You use that here, don't you, in the squad and stuff? I'm sure. I've been here today, and I see you with the lads and stuff. It seems like you are someone that people are drawn to and stuff.
Yeah, which is nice. Is what I said. Like, obviously, being captain is not just purely football ability, is it? It's someone who you want next to you in the trenches, which is why it's nice for me. So, I like to. I'm social butterfly. I like to get around everyone, know what's going on with people, see what's going on in their lives and whatnot, see what they're up to, have jokes, just because I'm, quite strict on a few things doesn't mean I can't have a laugh, do you know what I mean? So,
no, exactly. Well, listen, let's get to the joyful bits, is it, really? I never thought the joyful bit would be signing for Luton Town, all due respect. Yes, you signed for Luton. Take it away.
Yeah, so left Charlton. I was playing regularly for Wales when I was at Charlton. And at the time I thought because I love Charlton, to be fair. The club was, like I said, the club was neither near nor there. And looking at it, I just thought I need to try to be playing in the Championship to carry on playing for Wales. Every football decision I've made has been with the aim of trying to play for Wales, because I don't see any bigger honour than representing your country. So, when Luton came in and said, you're going to come in and be top boy, which would be like what Charlton said to me at the time. And, I was like, cool. And they were like, but I was obviously a bit concerned because they literally just stayed up, and they were like, look, this is the plan we've got. You join us today. By the end of the three years, we're going to be pushing for the playoffs. And I was like, I can get on board with that. I seen they set it out. Nathan Jones at the time set it out.
Yeah, great manager.
So intense to the game. He loves it. You can see the passion rolling off him. And when he gets you in that meeting and this, like, it was the first time he interviewed me, actually. So every other club I'd met before that, they were like, look, this is us, blah, blah, blah. Come and sign us. We're the best. And went and sat in the meeting, and he goes, so what would people say about you? And I was kind of like taken back. And he was like, well, what would people say your character's like then? And I had to explain my character. I was hardworking, loyal, all this. And he's like, okay, I've spoke to a few people, and they said all that. And then he asked me a few other questions. I can't quite remember what they were. And then he said, look, and then this is me, and this is Luton, and this is what we're going to do together. And I've spoke to all the boys who signed for him when he was at Luton. And everyone says, like, they come out of that meeting like buzzing that, they're fully on board with the Luton plan and the Luton project, and can't wait to get started. So that
amped you up, right? Like.
Yeah. And he's
What do you think? Yeah, what do you think it is with Nathan? Like, not just about obviously his decision making and his skills as a manager, but his character. What is it?
He just loves football. He is a student of the game. He loves football. And don't get me wrong, we've had our clashes. Like, first 15 games I wasn't playing, so I didn't like him. Do you know what I mean? Then I kind of broke in and started playing a bit more. Then I liked him. But throughout that, incredible manager. Is sort of win at all costs sort of manager.
Yeah. Do you think that was his plan? Like he had a plan for you?
I don't know. Because obviously he said,
questioning it.
Yeah, he said like come in and you'll be playing every week, and then first 12 games I haven't seen the pitch, and I'm thinking what's going on here? So he won my best fan. I won his best fan to start with, but we finally got in the team, and that's when you start liking managers, innit? Do you know what I mean?
Mm. Well, it's interesting because there's been a lot of talk on this podcast about Luton with guests we've had and stuff. Like, I want to know your opinion. Like, what is Luton like? What was it like when you first moved there? And we'll talk about the stadium and stuff. It's just all so fascinating to me, Luton Town. What was the club like? The town like when you first moved there? What was your perception of it? And
I didn't really know too much, to be honest. I remember obviously playing there and thinking what an incredible tough place it is to go and try and get 3 points from. Super tough. So
fans as well as that, like
fans, they all just seem so on top of you.
Yeah.
The intensity is like a smaller pitch. You have no time on the ball. They're after you, and that's what we've tried to keep on since I joined. But I didn't really know too much, to be honest. Didn't really know too much about the history. Didn't know too much about Super Mick Harford. Just didn't really know a lot, to be honest. But then as soon as you come through the door and you're like, and you start, for me, I like to buy into every club I join. So like I'm fully on board. Like I'm researching what's going on, and I'm like, wow, like Mick Harford, like legend, what he's done for this club.
Do you want to explain to the people who might not know?
Basically, he's
giving you an educational test here.
Yeah, well, basically, he scored. I don't know if he says he done it on purpose or not, but he scored the goal. He was playing for someone else. He scored an own goal that ended up keeping Luton up. And not great, but he's played. Did
he play for Luton at all?
Yeah. He had 2 spells. Yeah, but he's had loads of clubs, but.
Is this years and years ago, recently?
Yeah, so I think he was one of the, what was the Wimbledon Crazy Gang? I think he was one of the Crazy Gang for a year or two, but you go and see him now and he's just like the ultimate gentleman, which is why when I first met him and everyone, like my old man was saying, oh, like Mick Harford, like, is he as scary as he looked on the pitch? I'm going, are we seeing the right geezer? Like, this guy's so nice.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, you should have seen him play. He was elbows everywhere. He was like...
Well, I just quickly want to talk about your father and stuff. So like, I remember your mum and like, your brother. What was your dad like? Was he a real football fan, your dad then?
No. A bit like me. He loved every sport. Never really forced me to do anything. Said like, do what you want to do sort of thing. Because I remember there was a time at Bristol Rovers youth team when I wasn't enjoying it, and my mum came over. I called her up, said, Mum, I'm done with this. I ain't carrying on anymore. Just not enjoying it. I said, I only play because I enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? I'm on £40 a week. Like, I'm not enjoying it. And she was like, look, Tom, do what you want to do. Like, we'll support you, whatever. If you want to go try and get into uni or go and get a job, whatever. And I was like, sweet, like I'm done. My hands are washed with it. Obviously driving home, she spoke to my old man. My old man rang me and I was thinking, he's never been one to push anything on me. Like I thought, oh, he's going to like bollock me here, say like, what are you doing? And he just said, look, I understand your reasonings. You ain't enjoying it. If you want to quit, that's fine. No problem. But just go and have a word with the manager before you quit. There might be some reasonings behind it. I was like, all right, cool. Like, I'll go and see him tomorrow and that'll be me done. So when I seen him tomorrow, said, look, I've spoke to my old man. I'm not enjoying it. I feel like you just pick on me. There's other boys doing worse than me and you don't shout at them and all you're doing is just shouting at me. I just feel like you got something against me. I'm not enjoying my football. And I was about to say, like, I'm going to go and I'm going to quit and go somewhere else. And before I could finish, he said to me, Locks, I had no idea you felt that way. I'm so sorry. I'm only that harsh on you and someone else because you were the only two that I can see making it. And I don't want you to waste it. So I've gone from the day before thinking I'm quitting, I'm going back to uni, or I'm going to go to uni, do my A-levels, go uni, whatever, to coming out there going, oh, no, I'm going to be a professional now. Do you know what I mean? Really had that spring in my step. So, yeah, my old man, my mum have been brilliant. Couldn't have done anything without them. Like everyone knows now, you got to go to training 3 times a week when you're a kid and stuff. Couldn't have done it without them. And yeah. That's
amazing, mate. Shout out to mum and dad, man.
Yeah, big Steve and Anne, yeah. Never once have I got in a car and been shouted at. And I can't know a few of the boys I grew up with used to dread getting in the car. Like there's a few of them used to say like, oh, do you want to share a lift on the way home? Just so he knew like his dad wouldn't shout at him if I was there. It was complete opposite with me. Like I get in the car, my old man, if I knew I had a bad game, well, if I wasn't sure, he'd be like, wasn't your best game today? And that was it. Do you know what I mean? There was no shouting, you should have done this, you should have done that. Just like that.
That's what's fascinating with it though, is because you're so passionate about football and you're disciplined with people. Like, I know I can't imagine you're one who just fucking shouts at people, but like, you're aware of what your job is at hand, but you think someone like you would be coming from someone who's been shouted at and fucking disciplined, but it clearly hasn't been that way.
No, kind of just found my own way. And I loved it, to be fair. Like, my old man obviously knew I was doing it because I loved it. So him shouting at me ain't going to help. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. So, there's plenty of times where I've had rubbish games and he knew it, I knew it. We used to, at Bristol Rovers, he started voicing up a little bit more when I was professional then, and we had a few clashes. I used to say, Dad, I ain't speaking about it. Do you know what I mean? I ain't speaking to you about it.
He was a bit older then, though.
A bit older then, yeah. But never when I was a kid did I ever get anything like that.
No, never created no aces for you, no? No, fair play. Big up, Steve. So, yeah, back to Luton. So, look, I want to go to this season prior to the Premiership. What was it? Why do you think you had such a good season and eventually get promoted? Like, what was different this time?
I don't know. I don't know. I wish I could tell you. We had.
Was it the plan that was meant to have been executed 3 years prior that has just come to fruition, or
no? Because we were building, man. You could see step by step. So I think the first year we finished 12th or something like that. Second year we finished 6th, got into the playoffs. Third year we finished 3rd, and then went to the playoff final. Ended up getting promoted. So we were building. But I just think that third year, that building blocks were just there, and we signed Carlton Morris, and he ended up scoring 20 goals that season. And if you're going to get promoted out of the league, you need a goal scorer who's going to score 20
plus.
Yeah. And we had a rock solid defense. I think we had the best in the league. So we had that. We had him scoring goals, and we had a midfield who didn't give anyone a yard. And it all just sort of just came together, and just a great recipe. Yeah. Obviously, Nathan leaving in, it was over the World Cup, wasn't it? And Rob Edwards coming in, and it was just meant to be that it all just came together and ended up getting promoted. And I was going to say one of the best days of my life, but obviously what happened, it's not.
So quickly before we go to that day, what was the reason for Nathan leaving?
So he joined Southampton. In the Premier League.
He just thought it was a better job for him, did he? That's a shame in a way, I think. Was you upset with that, or?
It was a weird one because it was in the press for a few days before. So like the writing was on the wall, do you know what I mean?
It was odds for Cardiff.
What do you mean? Was he at Cardiff?
No, when Morrison went.
On odds. Okay. Yeah, but like the writing was on the wall, but like we knew, but we didn't know. Do you know what I mean? As players, so we had a couple games, or was one game? I think it was Stoke away before he left, and you can't begrudge him going to take that job. If he could have kept them up and stayed there. Obviously, Southampton's a fantastic club, but him leaving left the way for Rob Edwards to come in, and
They do.
What a manager! What a manager! What a guy! What a guy! He genuinely cares for his players. So it makes you want to play for him. It makes me want to run through brick walls for him.
I haven't got a bad word to say about him.
Honestly, I'd find anyone. Obviously, the boys who aren't playing might say different, like we just said, but I can't see anyone who's got a bad word to say about him. Incredible human being, and an incredible manager as well. So, I literally haven't got one bad word to say about him. When he got appointed, I was away with Wales at the World Cup, and I came back and he called me into his office. And there's always that, when the new manager comes in, there's always that little bit of the unknown. Is he going to like me? Like, I knew I was playing well under Nathan and doing really well, captain in the side. There's always that doubt. Is this new manager going to like me? Is he going to change his way? Yeah. And I came in and he called me up to his office and he just said, I've watched the last 6 games back before I joined. You're a massive part of this team and you're going to be a massive part of us going forward. I need you to be my rock at the back. And I was just like, I'm in again. Do you know what I mean? So, just wanted to run through brick walls for him. And I'm so glad that it all just aligned and we ended up getting promoted.
Talk about that day, that playoff. It must have been such a surreal start to your day.
Yeah, so, just buzzing for the game. In the hotel, buzzing for the game. Trying not to get too hyped up, do you know what I mean? Trying to keep it chill, not get too excited. And remember walking out with the boys and it was like so hot. I just remember it being so hot. We were warming up in the sun. I was just thinking, wow, it just felt like, I was like 30 degrees, but I've played in 30 degrees before and it just felt like way hotter for some reason. I remember going in the warm-up, trying to go and find the shade and like warm up in the shaded bit, and looking over at Coventry in the shade and thinking, that's unfair. Like all the other boys are just like, it's not that bad. Do you know what I mean? But I was thinking, for some reason, I just thought, wow, it's so hot here. So then game started. One of, obviously, Victor Gyökeres for Coventry, one of the best strikers in the league, was the best striker I came up against that year, to be fair. He was incredible. Strong, fast, had everything. So I just thought, early doors, win your first individual battles against him. So I did. Won a header against him, won a tackle, won a ball into the channel against him, went up at a corner, headed one, had one cleared off the line. I was just like, look, this is the perfect start here. Kept keeping him quiet. We're gonna have a good day. And then I just remember, ball went into Gabe. He's give it away, so I'm backpedaling. As I'm backpedaling, my head went really lightheaded, super lightheaded, like nothing like I've had before. I would say when you stand up real quick, but like worse, one of them. And then my legs went like jelly almost instantly. And I remember falling backwards. Next thing I know, I woke up, there was paramedics all around me.
In the ground or?
Yeah, on the turf. And I remember waking up from a dream. I couldn't tell you what the dream was about, but I just remember having a dream. And the paramedics, the physios are there. And they just said, Lox, can you hear me? And I'm like, yeah. And it was like, as soon as I came round, I was just like sweet again. So then I was like, they're like, Locks, you're coming off. I was like, no, I'm fine. Like, I'm good. He's like, Locks, you've just collapsed on the pitch. And then I just went like, wow, why am I on the floor? And I had no idea I was on the floor. And it was that realization then that, bang, your game's done, your season's done. You can have no influence on this game now. It was a weird feeling of let down, like I was letting the team down. I felt like, I know there's nothing I could have controlled, but just in that moment, all these emotions going on, I just felt like I'd let the boys down by obviously getting stretchered off the pitch. So when they picked me up and I just couldn't stop crying on that stretcher, had the oxygen mask on, just could not stop crying. Yeah, for me, I was all just in that bubble. I've watched it back since. Shout out to the guys at Wembley, the medics, and obviously the physios for Luton and Coventry.
Do you know anyone who's collapsed at Wembley? Probably the only guy.
I don't know.
It's just fucking mad, like.
So then ended up, I just think it was worse for everyone else. Like obviously my family were watching in this stadium, and like to see that. You expect
the worst, don't you? Especially with like the other collapses that we've had.
So
that's what I thought. I was like, oh, what the fuck's happened here, man?
Yeah. It's that helplessness of not knowing, not being able to do anything. Like my mum just sprinted straight down trying to get on the pitch, and they said, no, you have to like go in the medical room, whatever. They tried telling her she wasn't allowed through. Obviously that didn't go down too well. So I was in the medical room.
So you know the photo where you're like celebrating the promotion, like you've won, you're in like a hospital bed. Was that in Wembley still then? Or was
No. So went to the medical room under the stadium or in the stadium, and it was just like monitored up straight away. They were all just keeping tabs on me. No one really knew what was going on. They knew my heart rate was like through the roof, which caused a spike in blood pressure, which caused me to collapse. But it hadn't stopped. Well, they didn't think it had stopped at the time. It turns out it hadn't anyway. Then I was just monitored up, trying to see if my heart rate would just settle itself and go back to normal. But I was in that room and someone came running in screaming, tell him Jordan Clark scored. But the weirdest thing was, though, we were in Wembley still, but I didn't hear a thing when we'd scored. You think you'd hear like a massive
if you're in the Millennium or in the City Ground or anywhere really, you hear the
something. You go, that's a goal.
Yeah. You
heard nothing. Someone came running in, so just burst out crying again. Just kept crying. Got whizzed off to hospital then in the ambulance. Watching it on my phone in the back of the ambulance with my mum. Got to the hospital. Really nice hospital. So it had Sky in the room, which is what my old man. So he went to penalties. We watched all of extra time in the room, and then it went to penalties, and that's when my old man took the photo of me in that thingy in the bed and my family celebrating with me. But even then, it was like a half-hearted celebration, no pun intended, because I hadn't been told what's going on. Do you know what I mean? And I didn't want to like raise the heart rate or anything and all this. So it was like you know what I mean? I just couldn't.
You're funny.
Yeah.
You are funny, man.
So yeah. And then, that was an incredible moment. Obviously that went in, burst out crying again. And my mum gave me a massive hug. And that was, it's a special moment really, because you think you could never, after what I'd done last season to get us to there, like played my part together, helped get the team there. And then to be able to like celebrate promotion with all my family there is never going to happen, is it? Do you know what I mean? So, because you're normally on the pitch or whatever, and we were there for that moment. So that moment was special. One I'll cherish.
I bet you gutted like you were in there with a fucking cup and you would have lifted it.
Yeah. And it was so weird, Coles. It was like, it was like I was a little bit. I was like buzzing. We were promoted Premier League.
Yeah.
I was a little bit jealous of the boys who were there.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I was
Mixed.
it was just a mix of emotions of like, so I was
Am
like,
I okay?
yeah, am I okay? Will I play again? Just everything going on. It was just like, and then I had like boys messaging me, and then I'm like jealous of them there, and then they're messaging me, and I'm messaging back, I'm fine, don't be silly, like enjoy the day. When really I'm like, I'm fucking jealous of you there. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I might not play football again.
So yeah, because that's what, when I spoke to you, you was like, I was like, can you give me a little statement and that for the Central Club report? And you was like, listen, I don't even know what's going on. Like, how long did you have to wait for that decision? And what was it?
Yeah, so stayed in hospital for 5 days. And then I was an outpatient for 2 weeks then, having to go back for various different tests and that. And what they put it down to was atrial fibrillation, which basically means the heart rate spiked and just started beating mad crazy, a lot higher than it should have.
Butterflies? Like excitement, do you think? Do you think it was down to that?
They say like too much caffeine, stress, excitement. It could have been anything. As far as heart operations go, I've been told it's the most routine one that can be done.
Yeah.
Called an ablation. They just go in and solder off a few like loose connections, they call it, which is what caused it. But like, yeah, like I said, I'm fit. I'm in the peak of my fitness. I've never had anything like this before, and it just comes out of nowhere. So, yeah, who knows what caused it?
So yeah, so you're in the Premier League now. You are a Premiership player. How does it feel to say that, or to hear that?
Yeah, it's mad. It's mad. Like I said, you always want to play at the highest level, but realistically speaking, if I didn't get promoted with Luton to the Premier League, I don't think any Premier League club's going to come and buy me. So it had to be that way to become a Premier League player, and obviously the journey I've gone on is like we touched on, is a great journey. So I think it makes me appreciate it a lot more than, just being there all my career. Just enjoy every minute of it.
What's the biggest distinction playing in the Premier League to other leagues? What's the biggest thing you think, well, yeah, I'm here?
Well,
What, No, I know. Obviously, you'd say the clubs, the teams you play in, but
yeah. So it's
gotta
like
be the stadiums being filled and just next level stadiums, and I don't know.
Every stadium's just crazy. Like we went out at Villa Park the other day, and it was rammed. The Morris Stadium, it was incredible.
Yeah, people overwrite Villa Park, don't they?
Oh yeah,
beautiful.
yeah. What a stadium! Load of history as well. So yeah, no, it's just that top 10 / even 12 now is like, there's so much money gone into them teams, and massive fan bases, expectations that that 12 to break into is incredibly tough. There's a lot of teams spending a lot of money on the best, so that's that jump from top of Championship to that, top 12 in the Prem is massive.
Luton Town is a small town. It's a town, so they say. Yeah, it's not massive. Shut up. And you've gone into this Premier League. Do you think it's a blessing to have that stadium you're in, or do you think they need a bigger stadium and could easily fill that stadium?
No, I think having the stadium we're in now will help us this year for sure. Next year as well. But the plans for the new stadium are in. So there will be a new stadium, and for the club to be a bit more self-sustaining, it needs that new stadium. It needs to be able to bring in that extra commercial money, the meeting rooms that come with it, do you know what I mean? All these little turnovers.
Facilities that people will make money from.
Yes.
Separate to the football days.
Yeah, exactly. You can host meetings there. Do you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, there's so much more to be made with that. But us getting promoted to the Premier League has almost secured the future for Luton Town. The owners were incredible anyway. They were proper fans who bought the club, saved the club, have the club at heart. So it was never going to be where it was about to go before they took over. So they'll be sensible with the money they'll get for the Premier League now, help it fund the new stadium and the future of Luton Town. And, you know, barring anything crazy, that you know, as long as the current owners are still in charge, you know, Luton Town's in safe hands.
Yeah. Going back to stadiums, where's been your where's your highlights when it comes to the stadiums you've been at? Which is the best ones you've been at?
Wembley, lucky to have done it twice. Where else?
What about in the Premier League?
Premier League. I'm really looking forward to Spurs' new ground, because Spurs is my dad's team. He's already said he needs loads of tickets for that one. So,
in the Spurs end.
Yeah, probably, yeah, knowing him. But yeah, no, I went to White Hart Lane with him. Never played there. One I've always wanted to do is Principality, but you know, it's just never happened. I've had a few school rugby games there, but apart from that, yeah.
You was decent at rugby, was you, as well?
Yeah, I loved it. Like I said, I loved any sport. We got to the Welsh semi-finals in the schools.
Yeah.
We had a good year group, and outside centre I was. You know, people who watch me play know I don't mind contact in the football, so I didn't mind in the rugby either. Loved getting stuck into the bigger lads. Just rugby, I think, is a great sport. Really enjoyed the World Cup just gone.
Yeah, shame. But I think we done better than I expected, to be honest. Like, going into that, we were quite poor, weren't we?
Yeah.
What some of the clubs in the Premier League now, like performance-wise, like I want to have your take on some of them. What do you think of United, man? Where they are? Like, it seems like they're very poor, isn't they, at the moment?
I can't say that. They're still Man United. I know, you know, us going there and you know, trying to get a result is, regardless of what, you know, I know you said they're poor, but it's still Manchester United. It's still that expectation of them to be up there, spend money, world-class players. So, poor for them and poor for us is a little bit different, innit? So, still Man United.
I just hate Man United. No. What who do you think is winning? Who's taking the title this year? Do you think who's going to be up there
this year? Man City, I think. They're just a steam train that don't look like stopping, aren't they? Initially, I thought Newcastle were going to be right up there, but obviously the injuries and the Champions League football added in is really hampered them, innit? Yeah, so,
and it's so tight. Like, you know, they've lost like 2-3 games and they're right down the bottom now, innit? But in, like, you know, they're not in the top 4.
Yeah, so it's I think he's underestimated the effect of European football in the week as on the squad. You know, you have to have a much bigger squad to cope for the extra games and injuries. So, I thought they would have been up there, but it looks like Man City this year, I think.
Is this season for Luton, is this just the season to be jolly and just enjoy your football and see what happens, or are you looking to stay up? Do you think you're going to stay up?
Both, really. You know, we obviously we know we came up via the playoffs. You know, we didn't piss the league like Burnley did. You know, Sheffield weren't too far behind them, so we didn't exactly walk the league last year, so we always knew it was going to be tough. You know, the way, like I said earlier, the way Luton's run, you know, we're not going to just go out now and spend millions on, world-class players and, dump all the money we got in there. No, we're gonna do it the Luton way, which has been successful and got us to where we've got to. So, it's gonna be a battle, but we're gonna give it our all, doing it our own way. Which, whether that's enough at the end of the season or not, is something we can be proud of, and we're not going to change for anyone. That being said, our fans know that and are fully on board with it. And, we got clapped off away at Chelsea 3-0. We got clapped off at home to Burnley when we lost. They are behind us, and it's powerful. It's really powerful. That we're not getting turned on when we lose a game. People look at the Burnley game and go, "Oh, like 3 points." I'm going, did you not see Burnley last year? They cruised the league easily. It's not going to be an easy game.
No, and I think that's what people are misinterpreting, isn't they? I was saying to him earlier about that. Okay, they've been getting, they haven't done too well this season. But you should never take away how good they were last season, and they're still a great team. That just shows how competitive the Premier League is.
Yeah, and when you look at the table and you see Sheffield, Burnley, Luton at the bottom, and then I think you just show that jump to the Premier League is massive.
Yeah,
it is incredibly tough. It is the toughest gap I've had in my football. Jumping from non-league to League Two to League One to Championship. That Championship to the Premier League is by far and away the hardest gap to try and bridge.
How was it enjoying that 1-1 result with Liverpool the other week?
Oh, because it hurt you.
Yeah, it hurt me.
Did it hurt you?
A little bit.
No, it was incredible.
I actually said to my dad, I said, listen, if if it was Lockyer scoring, or if he scored the winner again, that's the only thing I would be all right with, because I'm going to speak to him on the podcast.
No, incredible team, what they've done over the last few years, isn't it? Mate, you must be made up. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we've been writ off as well lately as well. But I think we've got a wicked squad.
You're not happy again now, are you? Typical fan you are.
Mate,
You've had years of success now, look at him.
Mate.
He's thrown them all under the bus. Come on.
All those years, man. Everyone on our estate were Man U fans. And, we were the only Liverpool ones, me and my brother, getting the piss ripped out of us. With fucking Milan Baros and fucking Igor Bishkan. Shocking.
No, incredible team. Like I said, these are the games you want to be a part of. These are the games you want to be in. And if we'd have held on, that would have been incredible. But it just goes to show that the quality Liverpool have, they ain't gonna accept losing 1-0 to Luton. They're gonna go to the final whistle.
Yeah.
And if anyone was gonna score, I'm glad it was Diaz after what he went through.
I've got I got like 4 or 5 questions here of people.
Yeah.
And I want to just go through these quickly before we just wrap up. Have your quick say on the Welsh squad and stuff. So the first one's from a J Morales, and he says, "Is there any players locally that you thought should have made it and never?"
There's one, Laurent Mondo was Laurent
Ended up being a nightmare.
Yeah,
but shout out to him. Was he good? Though?
Incredible footballer.
He's a rapper, isn't he now? Is that Jucky?
Yeah. He's in the music industry now. I think
he
anyway.
A good baller, was he?
Yeah, he was a hard baller. Yeah, he was good.
Shout out to Jucky.
Yeah, that's the only one that springs to mind just off that. But yeah, he was special.
Well, that's all we want, the ones that spring to mind. Really, they're the ones. Otherwise, you dig in for people who shouldn't have ever have had it. Kirsty Hooper says best memory whilst being in the Wales squad.
Qualifying for the Euros when we had the shootout with Hungary to get to the Euros, and it was either us or them. And Rambo pops up with 2 goals. We win 2-0, and what a night that was! That feeling of just elation.
What was the World Cup like?
Crazy. Just crazy.
I swear when I spoke to you, you didn't think, you was unsure if you was getting picked, weren't you?
No, I hadn't been in the Welsh squad for over 2 years, I think. So then, obviously,
How was that? Being picked, after not being picked for 2 years and then.
oh yeah, it was amazing. I'd been playing really well at Luton, and to get that phone call to say we're going to bring you back in for the World Cup was like, what? Like, incredible. I was over the moon. It's hard to explain, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? Like, just amazing. Like, going to a World Cup. I was like, I don't care if I...
The only World Cup.
Yeah, I don't care if I play a minute or play every game. Like, I'm going to go there and I'm going to enjoy every second of it. Incredible experience. Incredible.
Fair dues, mate. Zach Avoth, does he ever plan on playing in Wales?
Is that... No plans,
Well, I don't think he means Wrexham.
Well, the way their trajectory's going. No, you can't ever plan in football. One team that might want you now, when you become available, might have someone else in that position. So you can't ever plan. Would I like to? Yeah, I would. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. But you can't plan in football. You never know what's around the corner.
Do you have like a tick list? Like when we had Bellamy, he was like,
yeah. Abroad's always been something I've thought.
What kind?
This is the thing, innit? I've always just wanted to go and experience that different lifestyle, and I like the thought of waking up into the sun every day.
Yeah.
Seen the weather yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it a certain type of football you'd like to play though?
No,
Just sun.
Yeah, just
The type of sun I watch.
just get me in the sun.
Yeah.
No, mate, honestly, you don't know what's around the corner in football. So, I don't have a tick list, like you said.
No, there's never been like I would just like to play for Cardiff when,
No, I'd love to play for Cardiff at some point, but, would it happen? I don't know.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's one of them, innit?
Well, this one's probably been answered earlier, but I'll give him his time. Alex Donovan says, did he go to Ninian Park as a youngster and how did he find it?
Yeah. I was season ticket in the Bob Bank, and when there was cup games with a season ticket didn't allow us in, we used to go in the Grange end and think we were hooligans.
Yeah. Did you enjoy it? What was your what do you think of Ninian Park?
I did enjoy it actually. What do I think of it?
Did Luton Stadium come like a resonation with that, like being a small pitch you're literally on the turf?
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason I feel like Luton's more on top of you.
Okay.
But I'd never experienced Ninian Park from the pitch.
From the pitch.
Do you know what I mean? And I was always I wasn't Bob Bank standing. I was Bob Bank like
at the back.
At the back, yeah. So, never experienced. Yeah, I think I played a few school games there, but there wasn't much of an atmosphere in them, was it?
Yeah.
Just my old man.
Just a couple on the grandstand.
Yeah.
But the Grange end was.
The Grange end was like a treat for me and the lads. Do you know what I mean? It was like oh yeah, like we thought we were cool. We'd had that like Sergio Tacchini's on and Burberry scarves. Oh, I'd hate. There's probably some photos, but I'd hate to see them.
We've had enough hooligans on this year.
Yeah. Listen to them all. Good podcast.
Yeah, you like them, yeah?
Yeah.
Cameron Jimio Kalijic, you'll know who I'm on about. When you joined Luton, did you ever think that you would play in the Premier League with them?
No.
I think we explained that, Cam, anyway, but yeah, thank you for the question. And another, I must be a good host because these questions that people are saying, would he like to play for the Bluebirds some point, he says. I think he said, yeah.
Clickbait now.
Okay then, so Welsh squad, like, how is training been and stuff? Your break, it seems like you all get along quite well as a unit.
Yeah, and I think that's massive. I think that's so important. I've spent more time down in the room with all the lads playing cards, table tennis, messing around, than I have in my own room on my own. But when you're going away for 10, 14 days at a time, it's important that you do enjoy people's company that, you know, you're going to be with. Because you come down for dinner and disappear straight back to your room, you know, it's going to quickly become a long
And do
camp.
you have like some players who do that then?
Yeah, don't get me wrong. There is some people who like their own company, but
I swear we saw Dan James wander off on his own, didn't we? Is he a loner?
no. He must have been going for a coffee or something.
Okay. Yeah,
Did he actually? Yeah.
He likes nice coffee.
Yeah, he likes his coffee, the boy.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. No, there's a great spirit, and like everyone gets on with everyone, sort of thing. I know loads of people say it, but we're really lucky here that is the case.
Yeah, fair play. What future ambitions, mate? What's your come on?
Future ambitions.
What's your ambition after football?
Yeah, now we're talking.
The real Lockyer.
The real Lockyer. I've always said I would love to just play golf every day. Yeah.
There's a close connection there, isn't it, with footballers and golf?
Oh, mate, I would love that. You know, it'd be incredible.
We'll film some content one day. We'll have a game of golf and just have a chat on a golf course.
Yeah, a lot of people are doing that now.
Yeah, well, choose.
Yeah. I don't know when this goes out, but me and Carlton are taking him and Jimmy on.
Yeah?
Yeah, we're getting after him.
Yeah. He beat us 2 of them. We'll leave that to the experts.
I say that, but
do you find yourself, you know, like you're a decent golfer?
Yeah, I do like it. I like it a lot. I've been working hard on my game as well. And then it's like that thing of like, how good can I get? Do you know, it's like football. It's like, I want to keep improving. It's like with golf, I want to get my handicap lower, keep working. But yeah, no, after football, I'll do my badges and have that.
Yeah, backup.
Yeah, whether I'd want to be a manager or not, I'm not sure. There's a lot of pressure on managers, you know. It's not turn up for training, do your extras, do your gym, and off you go. You know, they're at home, videos of the opposition, watching our training back. So much hours goes in that you don't see. Would you like to
be a part of a coaching unit?
Yeah, I think that's where I'd be. You know, out on the grass taking coaching, or, you know, a defensive coach who just worked with the defenders or something like that. Rather than be part of the team and not the head honcho. But yeah, I like my property as well, some sort of property development, you know. My old man's always on to me, what are you going to do after football?
It doesn't have to be about financial. It ain't about finance. It's about your headspace, isn't it? It's about finding something that you're happy to do after football, rather than just be some fucking. You know, I've been screamed at, I've been cheered for years and years and years on a pitch. You know, living this fast life, and now I'm, back to square one. What am I going to do? Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, but yeah, I get it, but. You know, unfortunately for me, the route I've taken probably won't allow me to be financially free at the end of football.
Lavish lifestyle?
Lavish lifestyle. You say that, you know, I'm captain of Premier League and I drive a Tiguan. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not one of them for.
You're not one of them, yeah.
Not one of them for flashy cars. Like
clothes.
No.
You never was you?
No, never. You know, you go through phases as footballer, you know, nice design a bit.
The Tashini's the best he had.
Then I always think, then...
Is that really?
The more money...
Tiguan, No, fair play to you, mate.
No, like... And then the more money I've got, and then I'm not thinking,
That's the radder in you, that is.
That's my old man.
Hijacked from
my old man's an accountant. He wouldn't let me. He wouldn't let me, honestly. And I wouldn't want to. I don't know, just... You know, it was always like the more money I got, the less I had to try and impress anyone. Do you know what I mean?
Of course.
So like when I was on £50 a week as a scholar and I could get my hands on a Gucci belt or some Louis Vuittons, like I used to think I was the kid. But when I could actually start affording them things, it was like, all right, what can I do with my money to help me in the future? Like I know this money ain't gonna last forever. So what can I do? Where can I put it to try and help me in the long run? Yeah. So,
what's your relationship like with your brother?
Well, I got 3 brothers. Younger?
Yeah,
I got twin younger brothers. Yeah, They were.
But they
I
were
think we
babies.
moved.
Yeah.
Yeah, my older brother. He was
James.
Yeah, for a while, he went a lot down your route, didn't he? You probably seen him more than me, and that's not being. I don't know how to put this, but like
He's your older brother.
he's my older brother.
So you and Bradley were kind of in the same boat with that then.
Yeah, but he was never like sporty. But then when he started going down like the drug route and stuff like that, he used to love smoking weed. I'm sure he'd done other stuff. I don't know because I just try and distance myself from him. He always knew my stance on it. You know, and but it wasn't just him. You know, my mates back home who I grew up with, I had to almost distance myself from them a little bit as well because they were going out all the time, drinking.
Cocaine and alcohol is embedded in our culture, our society, and if you're not doing what you're doing, you could be playing football for fucking Fairwater, or rather, you're guaranteed to be sniffing and drinking. I'm not saying the players at Fairwater are doing that. What I'm saying is it's in that culture, like, you know, and it's very hard to get away from, very hard to break away from.
Yeah, it's scary.
A bad thing for doing that.
It's scary how easy it is for people to fall into. Like when I moved to Bristol and started taking football serious, and I was coming home on the weekends, and we'd have the odd night out, and they would all disappear off to the toilet together, and naive me was like, what's going on here? Then as soon as I found out, I was like, lads, I can't be associated with this sort of thing. Do you know what I mean? This is where I'm trying to go in my career. So I had to almost distance myself from them. Like with my brother, all right, if you want to do that, that's on you. But like, just so you're aware, we're not going to be, like, I'm not going to be around you when you're going to be doing that. And, you know, luckily, they've all kind of like grown up. My brother now is incredible. What a human being, the way he's turned himself around. Pretty similar to you, Coles, mate. It's fantastic to see. You know, I couldn't be proud of my brother. He's done fantastic from where he was.
That's
and
amazing,
he's
man.
doing really well. So
yeah, no, it's amazing. I bet your mum and dad are at peace with it as well, aren't they? Like, you know, and
yeah. So yeah, sorry, a little bit emotional.
Nah, mate, I get it, bro. It's sad, isn't it, mate? I always go back to like stuff like this. I go back to my young self, like, do you know what I mean? And it's like, you know, to see where we've all gone in our lives it gets me emotional, like, you know, and I'm just so glad to see where you've gone in your life and to be, me and you to be sitting here talking now, it's wild, mate. Like, do you know what I mean? It is really wild, like, so, mate, I've really enjoyed this sit down with you, mate. Honestly, really enjoyed it, and I think a lot of people will enjoy this, football fans and not football fans. I think there's a lot of lessons to be learned in your story and morals to take from it, like, because your work ethic and everything that you believe in and live by has got you to where you are, and I think that's important for people to see, you know? This ain't just about football, you know? So I hope you've enjoyed this, mate, because I've been wanting to chat to you for a long time, mate, you know?
Yeah. No, like I said, mate, it's brilliant to see you doing so well.
Yeah. What was the last time you heard about me fucking up to no good?
No, to be fair, like I said at the start, I don't know if the cameras were rolling, but we used to watch you on YouTube, spitting your bars, good flow, man. Check him out,
and then
man.
I went the wrong way.
Mace, man. Yeah, but I didn't realise you'd gone the wrong way until you started doing this social media stuff and all that, and I was like, wow, I had no idea.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, some dodgy photos out there.
Yeah, but no, it's amazing to see you doing well, mate.
No, I'm glad, man. I'm glad it's been, mate, honestly. Yeah. Listen, what we do with all our guests, Tom, is we like them to go into presenter mode and look down the camera and just leave us with a positive message. This could be targeted to people trying to become a good professional, or just in life, basically, if you could leave with a positive message to the people down that camera?
Be the best version of yourself you can be.
Nice. Well, listen, thank you very much. I wish you all the best with Luton this season and following seasons. I'm sure we'll keep in touch, and hopefully a lot of people will learn something from this podcast.
Cool.
Good luck, man.
Thank you, mate.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. Go and check Tom Lockyer out on Instagram. He's a social media. I'm joking. No, honestly, it's been great, mate. Really enjoyed it. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this podcast. I hope you take something from this.
Stay central.
Stay central.
I watch him, bro. I watch him, bro.
The Central Club.